So what's going on with you? I'm talking to you though.
She don't talk because I didn't call you. She called you.
Can I get additional officers?
That's my wife. You can't come I don't threaten her.
The camera catches him the moment he walks through the doors. A tall figure in dark clothes, no hesitation, no looking around. He moves like someone who's been here before. Down the main hallway, past the nurse's station, to the stairwell that leads to the basement. In an office below, Latricia Brown is finishing her shift. She's worked here for 2 decades. Tonight will be her last. The gunshot comes fast, one shot, clean. The man walks back up those same stairs, something clutched in his right hand. By the time anyone reaches her, he's already gone. And somewhere in a courthouse across town, a piece of paper sits in a file cabinet. A protection order with her name on it. Approved, signed, never delivered. How did a woman who did everything right end up dead on a basement floor? Before we go further, you need to understand 4 things about this case. First, Latricia filed for a protection order twice. The judge denied the first one. The second one? Approved, but it was never served to the man who would kill her. Second, he called her workplace 50 times. He showed up at her job. Security had his photograph posted in their office. Her coworkers knew, her bosses knew, the hospital knew he was a threat. Third, in Michigan, if you want protection from someone who's trying to hurt you, the state makes you deliver the restraining order yourself. And they charge you for it. Michigan is one of only 7 states in America that does this. Fourth, 3 weeks after Latricia's murder, Michigan lawmakers scrambled to pass emergency legislation to fix the system that failed her. This is the story of a woman who followed every rule, who warned everyone, who trusted the system to protect her. And the system let her die. Today, we're uncovering what really happened to Latricia Brown, and why it took her death to expose a broken system that's been failing victims for decades. Welcome to True Crime Anatomy. To our subscribers, thank you for the support, wishing you and your loved ones safety. If you're new, please subscribe, like, and share. Here, we uncover the parts of the story the media often leaves out. April 2021, Latricia Brown posts something on social media that catches everyone's attention. If I have a future relationship or marry again, he going to appreciate and love all this. No BS next round. It's hopeful. It's determined. It's the voice of someone who's been through hell and is ready for something better. 20 years she'd worked at Henry Ford Hospital in the housekeeping department. The kind of employee who stayed late to help a coworker finish their shift. Her family called her their baby. When Latricia was 13, her mother died. Her cousin Deonda stepped in and raised her. And what Deonda remembers most is the laughter. Latricia was fun, silly, always smiling. She smiled all the time, Deonda would later say. 4 years after that hopeful social media post, in March 2025, Latricia turns 40, and something shifts. She decides this birthday will mean something. This will be her turning point. No more living in fear, no more tolerating what she's been tolerating. By July, she's got a small apartment. It's rented in a friend's name because she's still afraid. But it's hers. She cooks her first meal in that kitchen. She's waiting for furniture to arrive. For the first time in years, she can breathe. Except she can't. Not really. Because even in that new apartment, even with new locks on the door, she never stops looking over her shoulder. Her friends notice it, the way she checks the windows, the way she parks in different spots, the way she freezes when a car slows down near her. She's free on paper. But she knows better. Mario Green is 53 years old, 13 years older than Latricia. They met when she was young. They married in 2012. By 2018, they were divorced. But here's the thing about Mario Green. He doesn't let go. Court records show he was the one who filed for divorce. He ended the marriage legally. But emotionally, psychologically, he still considered Latricia his. And this wasn't new behavior. Back in 2001, 24 years before he kills Latricia, Mario Green was convicted of aggravated stalking. Another woman, another restraining order he violated. He assaulted her, threatened her. The court saw enough to put him away. He served nearly 6 years in prison for arson. Got out in 2012, the same year he married Latricia. Over the years, 7 different women filed protection orders against him. 7. But in 2018, while he and Latricia are still living together, even after the divorce, Mario starts posting on social media. Sonogram pictures, photos with another woman, an engagement announcement. People are confused. They're commenting, "Whose baby is this? Congratulations, man." He never clears it up. He just keeps posting. Latricia is still under the same roof, and he's publicly parading a new life. It's a performance, a message, a reminder that he controls the narrative. He filed for divorce, but he decided the terms. He moved on publicly, but he refused to let her move on privately. And that's the part people don't understand until it's too late. Mario Green didn't want Latricia. He just didn't want anyone else to have her either. 15 years. That's how long Latricia was tied to Mario Green. What started as a relationship became a prison. Her friend Shenny Gibson saw things Latricia tried to hide. The bruises, the way Latricia would cancel plans at the last minute. The late-night phone calls where she was crying so hard she couldn't speak. "I saw the bruises myself," Shenny would later say. "I consoled her through countless nights." The violence was physical. But what Mario did with his words might have been worse. He degraded her, made her feel worthless, convinced her that no one else would want her, that she was lucky to have him. By 2018, the marriage was legally over. Mario filed for divorce himself, but Latricia couldn't leave. Maybe it was money, maybe it was fear, maybe it was both. So they kept living together, divorced on paper, trapped in reality, and Mario never stopped. The calls, the threats, the public humiliation. If she talked to another man, he'd show up. If she went out with friends, he'd be waiting when she got home. By 2025, it's getting worse. He starts showing up at Henry Ford Hospital, her workplace, the one place she should feel safe. He follows her to her car. He destroys her property. He calls the hospital so many times that her coworkers start recognizing his voice. Latricia knows what this is. It's escalation, and escalation only goes one direction. March 2025, Latricia turns 40, and Mario kicks her out. Just like that. Out of the house they'd shared for years. She has nowhere to go, no family nearby with space, no savings for a deposit, so she sleeps in her car, in the parking lot of Henry Ford Hospital. The place where she's worked for 2 decades. Imagine that, clocking out after a full shift and walking to your car, not to drive home, but because your car is home. April. Mario shows up at the hospital again. This time, security stops him.
So what's going on with you? I'm talking to you though.
She don't talk because I didn't call you. She called you.
Can I get additional officers?
That's my wife. You can't come on.
The guard tries to explain that she doesn't want to see him, that he needs to leave. Mario doesn't care. He causes enough of a scene that they have to escort him out. Security files a report. They post his photo in their office. Everyone's on alert. But he's not done. June 13th, Latricia files for a personal protection order. She documents everything. The harassment, the threats, the showing up at her job. She lays it all out for the judge. The judge denies it. Doesn't meet the burden of proof. Latricia is devastated. She did everything they told her to do. She documented, she reported, she asked for help, and the system said no. July 1st. Mario breaks into Latricia's car again in the hospital parking lot. He destroys her clothes, her shoes, personal belongings. It's not about theft. It's about sending a message. I can get to you whenever I want. July 20th. Latricia files for a protection order again. This time, her petition is different. You can feel the desperation in her words. I feel that the system has now let me down each time. I am asking for help before this goes too far. Before this goes too far. She already knows where this is heading. July 21st. The judge approves the order. Finally, protection, safety, relief. Except there's a problem. In Michigan, when you get a protection order, the state doesn't serve it for you. You have to pay someone to deliver it to the person you're trying to protect yourself from. A process server, a sheriff's deputy, someone. And it's not cheap. The base fee is $26, but with mileage and processing, it can run over $100. Latricia is living in her car. She's just scraped together enough money for a small apartment, rented in a friend's name because she's afraid Mario will find her. And now the state of Michigan is telling her, if you want this protection order to actually protect you, you need to pay us first. She can't afford it. Not right away. So the order sits in a file, approved, signed by a judge, completely useless. 31 days pass. Latricia might think she's protected. After all, a judge approved the order. It's official, it's legal. But Mario has no idea it exists. No one has told him. No one has served him. And in Michigan, until that piece of paper is physically handed to him, it might as well not exist. August 22nd, 2025, 9:45 p.m. The surveillance camera at Henry Ford Hospital's main entrance captures a tall figure walking through the doors. Mario Green, 53 years old, carrying a gun. He doesn't run. He doesn't hide his face. He walks like he belongs there. Latricia is in her office, end of a long shift, ready to go home. One of her co-workers is nearby. She'll later tell police what she saw. Mario walks up to Latricia, casual, calm. Latricia steps into the hallway with him. Maybe she's trying to be polite. Maybe she's trying to avoid a scene at work. Maybe she thinks if she just answers his questions, he'll leave. The coworker is still close enough to hear them talking. And then, the gunshot. Close range, one shot to the head. Latricia crumples to the floor. Blood pools around her body. He turns and walks back toward the stairs, the same way he came in. 9:55 p.m. 10 minutes after he entered, the surveillance camera catches him again, walking out the front doors, gun still in his right hand, not concealed, not hidden. He crosses the parking lot, gets into a white 2011 Dodge Charger, and he drives north on Lodge Freeway. Inside the hospital, chaos erupts. Alarms, lockdown protocols, staff scrambling, patients being moved to secure areas. Within minutes, SWAT teams are on site, ATF agents, Michigan State Police. The hospital is swarming with law enforcement. But Mario is already gone. The entire hospital building was placed on lockdown. The coworker who heard the gunshot runs to where Latricia fell. She's on the floor, bleeding, not moving. Someone calls 911. And here's a detail that makes this even more surreal. Officer Isaac Lamas is already at Henry Ford Hospital that night. He's been there for hours investigating another homicide that happened earlier in the day.
I was investigating a homicide that happened a couple hours prior.
2 murders, same hospital, same night. Every police department in the Metro Detroit area gets the alert. 2 a.m., 3 hours after the shooting, they find the Dodge Charger, abandoned on a street in Detroit, empty. Now it's a citywide manhunt. Detroit Police, FBI, ATF, Wayne County Sheriff, Michigan State Police. Every available officer is searching.
Yes, indeed, she did. Good evening, everybody. And honestly, this was just a bad scene all the way around, as on this Friday night, as mentioned, one woman is dead. There are a lot of questions that need answering, and police are trying to get a dangerous man off the streets.
He produced a gun, handgun, and fired multiple shots, killing his ex-wife.
The hospital released a statement. At Henry Ford Health, we are family. We are devastated by the loss of our Henry Ford Hospital teammate, and our hearts go out to her loved ones, her family, friends, and the people she worked with every day. Police have confirmed this was a targeted act of domestic violence. At this time, all questions regarding what occurred should be directed to the Detroit Police Department. We are cooperating with their investigation and are conducting our own internal investigation as well. Mario Green has a history. They know he's dangerous, they're armed, and they know he's got nothing to lose. The city is on high alert, helicopters overhead, patrol cars on every block. And then, at 3 a.m. on August 23rd, 6 hours after the murder, officers spot him. LeMay Street near East Warren Avenue. Mario Green is taken into custody without incident. But he's not alone. Anthony Barnett is arrested with him. Investigators believe Barnett helped Mario flee after the shooting, gave him a place to hide, maybe helped him ditch the car. Barnett is charged as an accomplice, lying to police, accessory after the fact. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office doesn't waste time. Within days, they're building what they believe is an airtight case. The evidence is overwhelming. The charges come down hard. First-degree premeditated murder. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was planned. He walked into that hospital with one purpose: discharge of a firearm in a building causing death. Aggravated stalking. Possession of a firearm by a prohibited person. Mario's criminal history meant he was never supposed to have a gun in the first place. 4 counts of felony firearm. Anthony Barnett, the man arrested with Mario, faces his own charges. Accessory after the fact. Lying to police.
And the charges for Mr. Barnett are such that it is alleged that he is helping someone who is charged with murder
in effect to avoid, again, being apprehended by the police and avoid prosecution. Those things cause me concern for the safety of the public as well. I would note also, Mr. Barnett does have a prior conviction, and while it is from some time ago, I would note that it's for unlawfully driving away an automobile.
Prosecutors believe he helped Mario hide, helped him stay free for those 6 hours between the shooting and the arrest. But Mario's defense attorney, Brian Berry, isn't backing down. He calls the investigation shoddy, claims the evidence is circumstantial at best, maintains his client's innocence.
I don't see how we get to Mr. Green as being the shooter, or that he was stalking, or that he was there without consent.
It's a bold strategy, because the video doesn't lie. But that's what defense attorneys do. They find the cracks. They create doubt. And as strong as the evidence is, there are questions no one can answer yet. How did Mario get a gun into the hospital? Why wasn't the unserved protection order flagged in any system? Where were the security protocols that should have stopped him at the door? 4 months after Latricia's murder, the case moves to 36th District Court. Judge Sean Jack presides over the preliminary hearing, 3 hours of testimony, witnesses, evidence, the prosecution laying out their case piece by piece. The courtroom is packed. Latricia's family sits in the front rows. Her cousins, Deonda and Dia Easley, the women who raised her after her mother died, wear matching purple hoodies. Purple for justice, purple for remembrance. After 3 hours, Judge Jack makes his ruling. There's enough circumstantial evidence. Mario Green is bound over for trial in circuit court. The family exhales. It's not a conviction, but it's a step. It's progress. Deonda and Dia hug each other in the hallway outside the courtroom. They're exhausted, emotionally drained, but they're not giving up. And the biggest question of all, if that protection order had been served, if Mario had known there were legal consequences for contacting her, would Latricia still be alive? At Henry Ford Hospital, the grief is thick. 20 years Latricia worked there. 2 decades of showing up, being dependable, making people laugh on their worst days. Her co-workers put together a memorial in the break room. Photos, flowers, notes that say we miss you and you deserved better. They're angry too, because they saw it coming. Then the media gets involved. 7 News Detroit starts asking questions. Not just about Mario Green. Not just about Latricia, but about the system that failed her. And what they uncover shocks people. Michigan is one of only 7 states in America that forces domestic violence victims to serve their own protection orders and charges them for it. The base fee is $26, but with mileage, processing, and other costs, it can easily hit $100 or more. You're fleeing abuse, you're probably broke, you're living in your car or couch surfing with friends, and the state of Michigan says, if you want protection, pay up first. The story goes viral. Within hours, literally hours of the 7 News report airing, Genesee County Sheriff Christopher Swanson announces his office will no longer charge fees for serving protection orders. Effective immediately, he says. 1 county down, 82 to go. Michigan's protection order system wasn't just broken, it was deadly, and Latricia's death proved it. State Senator Stephanie Chang, a Democrat, and State Senator Ruth Johnson, a Republican, don't agree on much, but they agree on this. The system has to change. They introduced Senate Bills 611 and 612. The legislation is simple. Law enforcement will serve all protection orders for free within 72 hours. No more charging victims, no more delays, no more unserved orders sitting in files while abusers remain unaware and victims remain unprotected. December 9th, 2025. Less than 4 months after Latricia's murder, the Michigan Senate votes on the bills. The result? 35 to 0. Unanimous, bipartisan, rare in today's political climate. The bills include a $1 million state fund to reimburse law enforcement agencies for the cost of serving protection orders. So there's no excuse, no budget concerns, no pushback. Because here's the thing that makes this even more infuriating. 43 other states already do this. 43 states already have law enforcement serve protection orders automatically. Michigan was in the minority, the dangerous minority. And it took Latricia's death to force change. The cruel irony is almost too much to bear. Latricia did everything right. She left her abuser, she documented the harassment, she filed for protection twice, she warned her employer, She moved to a new apartment under a friend's name. She followed every rule. She checked every box. And the system asked her to pay for her own safety. She couldn't afford it, so the protection order sat in a file. Unserved. Useless. And she died. But here's what gives me hope. Latricia's death has already changed Michigan law. Her family's testimony helped pass historic legislation. Her story has forced police departments across the state to eliminate protection order fees. She couldn't save herself, but she might save countless others. So here's my question for you. Should protection orders be automatically served by law enforcement in all 50 states? No fees, no delays, no exceptions. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching. Latricia Brown's story isn't about one failure. It's about compounding failures at every level. Every link in the chain broke, and Latricia paid the price. And if you or someone you know needs help, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is 1-800-799-7233. They're available 24/7, confidential, free. See you in the next episode of True Crime Anatomy. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Stay safe out there.